In this video, I kind of want to do a beginner's guide. Like if you're a new player and you want to re-roll your account until you get a good character, these are the characters as of right now. In a game like this, that could be outdated fairly quickly depending on when you start up. If you start this time next year, there's going to be characters that are new to the game that, you will not see in this because they don't exist as of the time of this video, that are actually going to be just as good, if not better, than the characters that I'm going to mention before. Now, I went to the album as a good way to see what they look like, see their character portrait, and to see their stats and skills. Now, the first one on the list is Roca. These are in no particular order. I'm not saying this is obviously the best one because she's first, or she's one of the worst ones because she's, first and not last. No, it's no order. Now, the reason why this character is really good, especially for new players, is she has strong attack recharge time. That means you're able to use your strong attacks more frequently. That's always a plus. She has a special when used that will give you a last-ditch survival 100%. What that means is, if your character gets knocked out or killed or whatever, she will revive with, a portion of her health left. I think it's like, I don't know exactly what percentage of it, but it's with low health. She doesn't get the full health from the revival, but it is something that could allow you to stay in it without having to use revival candies or orbs to come back and actually finish the level. She has long stride. The reason why this is good for new players is she's able to cover long distances really quickly in like one swoop. Where before, like if you don't have long stride, you got to do a bunch of smaller ones. And the long stride could be the difference between your character getting one shot by a particular boss skill or, making it out alive. Then you have team party stamina recovery. That means your whole team / party, depending whether you're single player or co-op, will recover 20% of their stamina or health pool every time you transition from one screen to the next. Like, a typical level is screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4, and then the boss screen. So you have 4 transitions total. So that means there's 4 different times on average per level to recover your stamina by 20%. If you have 1,000 stamina, you're recovering about 200 health. Now, another reason why this character, in my opinion, is a top tier character for new players is the shared complete status immunity. What this means is this character cannot be inflicted with a status ailment of any kind, at least at the moment. I mean, who knows if they decide to create something that's able to penetrate this immunity. But as of right now, shared complete status immunity, you're able to dodge or avoid getting any status ailments. Now, there are these pools of various status elements on stages. Sometimes they cover a lot of the screen, and they can be very tedious for new players to navigate them. With this will help making it the earlier stages easier for you to get through it. Shared complete status immunity. You walk over the puddle. Not only is your character immune, the best part is it'll spread that immunity to other characters. So that means if your other team, or if you're in co-op, them as well, will get that immunity. So it's really, really good character for new players. Heck, I've been playing this game for a while, and I use it because it's just really nice to not have to worrying about where I'm stepping. There's a puddle of burn there, paralyzed there. Kind of annoying, but with this, it makes it a little bit trivial, which is good. Now, she has Debilitator. That means her status ailments from her attacks are going to last longer once inflicted. Then you have Sharpshooter, which is certain enemies in here are able to defend against certain style of attacks. Like you have melee and ranged type attacks. If you take a look at this character, you can do this on the screen. She is a ranged character. So if you come up to an enemy that is, range guard, they are not going to be able to pierce those enemies as easy. It's going to be a pain. With Sharpshooter, they will be able to pierce it and actually deal damage to them, which is really, really good. And last but not least, we got Status Ailment Spiritual Pressure Boost 80%. Now, this is the SP, the Spiritual Pressure. So, as you can see, she has these little icons tell you what status ailment she inflicts on her attacks. It's not guaranteed, it's a percent chance. But when she does inflict a status ailment, her SP is going up 80%. That is insane and makes her very powerful. Now, obviously, there are better characters in the game, but she is a very good character overall. And with all the kit that I basically said for like her skills, make her a really good character for beginners. And the new, I'm going to have to go to a different screen to show you the new one, because there's an upcoming banner releasing in less than 24 hours that will have another character that's really, really good. Can't really show them off at the moment. I can go to the new screen and show them off, but I'll do that at the end of the video or later on at some point. Now, here's another character. This is 1,000 Year Blood War Eisen. He's a little bit different, and he's a really good autoer. What I mean by that is you have auto mode for when you're farming content that's very simple to farm. You know, it's easy. It's like, why do I have to play this manually? There's an auto mode. You tick that auto mode, and your character will start running through the level. Now, the reason why this character is really good at autoing is he has a ranged attack, and a really good one. As you can see, it's actually, as you can see, it goes in a distance. It's actually really good. He has normal attack damage 20%, which is attack. So this is right here is gonna, you know, tell you what type of character this character is. If it has a higher SP, like 800 SP and like 600 and some attack, that's an SP character. If its attack is, you know, in the 800s or around there, and the SP is like 100, 150 lower, then you can tell it's, you know, an attack character. And that does matter, because it will focus on what kind of build you want to go for your character. Now, why this character is really good is he has a shield. So if he uses that ability, he's going to be doing more damage, and he's going to have a barrier around him and his allies. For him, I believe it's 5, and for his allies, I believe it's 3. So that means you'll get 3 hits, free hits on your allies, and for your Eisen, he'll be able to take 5 hits. Now, that shield does not protect you against status ailments. You can have the shield up, get hit by an attack, and it still inflict a status ailment on you. And the same thing, if you were to walk over a, what do they call it? A pool of a status ailment, your shield won't go down, but you will be inflicted with the status ailment. So if you're going like a full stamina damage, which means you have to be at full stamina to get the increase in amount of damage, then it's not going to really work out. But for a lot of the autoing stuff, you're probably not going to have to worry about that. Now, he has a gauge effect. That means every time he attacks, like when he does that, the gauge will slowly fill. It takes up a decent amount, but once it does fill for about 10 seconds, he's going to be getting decreased damage taken by 50%. So that means he's going to be receiving 50% less damage when he's like that, in that gauge mode. He also has a bruiser, which is obviously going to help his normal attack damage a lot. When he has this, it's going to increase it by 100%. Now you got fire resistance. So that means if there's any burning pools, or, you know, like enemies that would inflict him with burn, he's immune. Doesn't have to worry about it. So that's really, really nice. Certain areas will have that. Then you have read all affiliation dodges, which is honestly really useful, but not for new players early on. This is going to be something that once you have your account in a pretty good spot, doing some of the higher tier content where the enemies will have a, you know, a chance to dodge it, you know, like 50% chance, for example. So that means if they had a 50% dodge against you, you go like that, and they might miss. Do it again, miss. You know, and let's say every 5 out of 10 times you're hitting them. So that will slow your run down quite significantly. But with this, doesn't matter what affiliation they are, or, you know, if they're able to dodge, he's going to be hitting them no matter what. Now, also, when he has a dodge, his strong attack recharge is 30%. So that means he's able to get off his strong attacks 30% quicker, which is useful for the boost. I mean, it's that right there. You know, to bring the shield up again, you know, to boost the strength of, you know, how much damage you deal. That's really nice. Now, if we scroll down some more, increase status ailment chance against speed attribute enemies. That's blue. This character is a green character. So that means every time he goes against enemies that are, you know, weak against him, there's going to be a larger chance of success when you're trying to inflict them with a status ailment, which I believe, yep, weaken right there. You can look for that. See, this one doesn't have that. That's because it doesn't have that ailment, but every other attack does, including his special. He has poise. Now, what poise is it's something that's actually really good. It means if he gets hit, he ain't gonna be like, you know, stunned or flinched. You know, the only time you're gonna be able to stop him from moving or, you know, like, you know, continuously attacking even though he's getting hit is if he's inflicted with something like freeze or paralysis, where it will actually freeze him in place. But if you're just hitting him, he ain't gonna get stun locked by the enemy. Now, the multi-barrier +2 is that shield that I was telling you about. That basically gives it so instead of having, you know, Eisen with a 3 barrier, so he's able to take 3 hits, this adds an additional 2. And then he has a status ailment attack boost, 80%. It's kind of like the other one, but instead of boosting the SP by 80%, it's going to be boosting the attack by 80%. So that's going to be really, really strong if you're able to inflict any of these status ailments. Now, for a lot of people, you might not know what guard break or hit hidden enemy is. You're a new player. This is actually a really good skill to have, or set of skills to have. Guard break means you're able to hit the enemies a lot easier. You don't have to break their guard, which is something that can waste a strong attack or stop you from clearing the level quickly. You'll understand if you try and go up against certain enemies with guard. You'll notice, oh, I'm not nearly doing as much damage. It's taken forever, at least compared to someone who has guard break. Then you have hit hidden enemies. There's these little enemies that for certain affiliations will appear underground. They're like a little shadow or, you know, a little effect. They obviously see them that they're not on the surface like the regular enemies. Those are hidden enemies. And those enemies cannot be hit unless you have hidden enemies or they come above the surface. I think there's an exception. I think if you use your special, I think it works. I don't know. I haven't really had to worry about that because I have hidden enemy accessories and, you know, some of these that have skills that I haven't had to worry about that for a long time. But for your new player, this is something that you should watch out for. This character in particular is a really good auto character. Now, we're going to be taking a look at what is a lot of people consider to be the best character in the game. There's like a lot of people that consider this character to be the best character in the game. He has a Quincy Hollow Killer, which is really good. Especially since the 1,000-Year Blood War anime is coming back. You're probably going to be dealing with a lot of Quincy enemies. You also have Hollow. You know what a Hollow is if you've watched Bleach. He has strong attack recharge time minus 12%. That means his strong attacks, which are these 3 right here, are going to be, recharging. The cooldown is going to be reduced by 12%. So let's just say if it had a cooldown of 100 seconds, it's going to be dropping by 12, bringing it down to 88. Now, he also has 2 status ailments on his attacks. Burn and Weaken. This is a really good combo. It is very powerful, especially with some of the stuff he has down below. Now here is an innate skill, dodge hollow damage 50%. So that means if he's going up against hollows, he's going to be dodging their attacks 50% of the time. This is pretty significant. That means he's going to survive, potential, attacks. So let's say if he were to get attacked by something, there's a chance that, he dodges the attack and he doesn't have to worry about getting hit, if they caught you by surprise. Or if you're getting hit by multiple enemies that kind of, spawned around you, some of those might miss because of this. Sprinter plus 2 is nice. It just allows you to sprint more. Which is, in my opinion, I like long stride better. It's just a nice bonus. Here it is again, basically. Shared complete status immunity. What I said for Roca applies to this character. He's able to step on any puddles of status ailments. He's able to get hit by enemies that inflict certain status ailments. And it won't inflict him with the status ailment. Now, if you get hit by an enemy with a status ailment, although you're not getting inflicted the status ailment, you're still getting hit by the attack, and it's still going to do damage. It's not immune to the damage itself from the attack. Just to clarify. If you wonder, what is it? Hey, I have shared complete status immunity. Why am I getting hit by this enemy that obviously inflicts freeze damage, but I'm supposed to be immune to that? No, you're immune to this ailment aspect of it, so it's not going to freeze you in place, but it is still going to do damage to you. Bombardment's a really good skill. Bombardment allows you to get additional hits in with your attacks. So, let's just say if you had a strong attack that would hit 5 times. Well, the bombardment will allow it to hit 1 more, which is really, really, really good. Especially if, you're trying to clear out a whole screen of enemies really quick. Because, if you place a well-placed strong attack 3 that has, a full screen effect, you can sometimes clear out a whole screen of enemies with that one strong attack, if it's placed properly. And if not, you're able to clear out multiple waves of enemies at the very least. Now, remember how I mentioned about the double status ailments, burning and weaken? If you look at this, when you inflict that status ailment, you're going to be inflicting 40% damage to burn enemies, and damage to weaken enemies is increased by 40% as well. So if you inflict both of them, you're doing 40% damage from this and 40% damage from that. That is a lot of extra damage. He also has weakened defense, so that's really nice. He has Marauder, which is like Sharpshooter, where if the enemy is protecting against melee, he's able to basically pierce that, even though he's a melee unit. Look, if you look at his attack, it's a normal melee attack. He's able to pierce any of the enemies that are, won't get hit by melee attacks. I mean, they will get hit. It just would be such a low amount of damage. They might as well not be getting hit. And the last ability that makes it stand out is the status ailment spiritual pressure boost 80%. So that means when you inflict a status ailment, like burning or weaken, you're going to be doing 80% more damage with your spiritual pressure. That's insane. Because you got 40% here, 40% here, 80% here. That's a lot of potential damage, by the way. In fact, there's a certain game mode called Guild Quest that this guy is able to clear certain guild quests that he ain't supposed to be. Like, if you take another character with the same type of affiliations that he has and the killer that he has, they ain't clearing it on game modes that he ain't supposed to be in, like off affiliation. Like, it's like, okay, you're not, this is not a Soul Reaper Captain affiliation area, and he doesn't have the killer. He's still doing a good job at clearing the guild quests. If you take the other PvE modes, he just destroys stuff. It's insane. So yes, he's a really good character. Now, we are going to be taking a look at this guy right here. This is a premium character. That means you can get him from tickets. You can get him from like 5-star tickets, Brave Soul tickets, premium tickets, although the chances of it happening will vary depending on what you have. There is a chance. And he's a really good character. He has a strong attack recharge of 14%. So that's going to be really good. So that means minus 14% recharge on his attacks. He also has dual status ailments, as you can see, paralysis and weaken on all of his abilities. Here's another skill that you probably, I don't think any of the other characters I showed you had. He has Immobilizer plus Enervator, What that means is every 5 seconds, he has a chance to inflict one of these 2 status ailments on any of the enemies that are out there right now. So if they're spawned in, there's a 5, or not 5%. Every 5 seconds, he'll have a chance to inflict them with a status ailment. So that means he could just sit around, not fire off any of his attacks, and they'll suddenly be inflicted with one of these status ailments. So yeah, that's really good. He also has the shared complete status immunity. You know, I already described it before. I really won't have to go into it again. He has bombardment +1. Like I said before, allows his attacks to have an extra hit in there. He has a debilitator +5 seconds. That means his status ailments will last longer. He has sharpshooter. That means, you know, if enemies are protecting against ranged attacks, he's able to pierce that. He has hidden enemies built in. So that means, you know, if there's underground enemies or enemies hiding in the shadows, he's able to hit them. And he also has the status ailment spiritual pressure boost 80%. So that means if he inflicts a status ailment, he is going to be getting his SP boosted by 80% and dealing a significant amount of more damage. It's a really solid character. Honestly, like if you're summoning on the new banner, like a new player banner, he's one of the characters that you're going to want to go for. Now, let's go down here. Where are you? There we go. Here is another really strong character. He's the 6th anniversary Eisen, and even at the 7th anniversary with all these characters coming out, this character is still really good. He has strong attack recharge time -12%. He has dual status ailments on his attacks. So he has weaken and drain. Drain can heal your character when inflicted. So that means if you're, you know, not at full stamina, the drain will help recover some of your guys' health. He has a paralyzed resistance and dodge Soul Reaper damage. So that means if he's going up against a Soul Reaper, he can be dodging their attacks, and it can be pretty annoying to deal with, especially in Brave Battle, because there have people with, like, you know, the maximum amount of dupes in their Eisen, and they have him in PvP, and he is pretty good at PvP. I mean, obviously there are, you know, better characters if you built around him, but if you're using him, he can be really powerful in PvP if you built him correctly. Now, scroll down. He has a full stamina damage boost, 20%. That means if he's at full stamina, he's gonna, you know, be doing 20% more damage at full stamina. He has to have his max amount of health. If he even takes 1 damage, he could have 9,000 health, and he takes 1 damage, that full stamina damage boost is lost. And obviously there's no character that I know of that has 9,000 health in the game that you can play as. Debilitator +5 seconds. That means his status ailments will be lasting longer. Sharpshooter, same thing as the other ones. He is a ranged attack user. As you can see, it just kept on going in the distance. If the enemy is protecting against that, it's piercing it. And he also has hidden enemies 100%. So that means any enemies that are underground or in the shadows, they will get hit. Now, this character, along with the Power Yamamoto, which I'll show you again. It's up here. That one right there. Excuse me. So, he and them have a similar kit, and it's considered to be one of the best, if not the best, kit in the game. So even though this has better skills, the other people still like that Eisen just because he has the same kit, and maybe they didn't pull him, or maybe they just like playing with the other character. But if you pull either of those characters, you're going to be in a good spot. But any of the characters I mentioned so far are really good characters for new players to have. Now, we got to go to the news, because the one character I'm going to talk about ain't in the game yet. He will be in the game in less than 24 hours. 12, so it'll be what? 2, 4. So about 16 hours from now. Now, if we go, is it this one? No, it's this one right here. The Step Up Summons Accord. We have a Chad, Ichigo, and Yuryu. And if we go scroll down here, this is the character I am talking about. He is very, very good. There's another type of enemy in the game that has something called Iron Skin. And if you're not able to inflict that enemy with a status ailment of some sort, the amount of damage you're going to be doing to it is insignificant. It's not going to be a lot, and it's going to slow down your clear times by a significant margin. But there's an additional problem on those levels. A lot of the times, if it has an iron skin for their enemy's abilities, there's also a time limit, usually 3 or 5 minutes. And those two combined, you're probably not clearing it. And there is not a continue thing that, like, oh, if you fail, let's say if all of your characters get knocked out or die, you're not able to continue. So this is something that's going to suck for, new players to deal with, or heck, even veterans if you don't have a good character that inflicts status ailments. However, this character, even though his attacks do not have an ability to inflict status ailments, he does have hit hidden enemies and pierce iron skin. So even though he doesn't inflict status ailment, with this skill, pierce iron skin, he will not have to worry about iron skin. He also has another skill that we did not see coming. These are new skills at the time. Is damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment plus 100%. So that means if the enemy is not inflicted with an ailment of any kind, he's going to be doing 100% more damage. This is really significant. These two in tandem are new skills. So honestly, we thought this character was going to be pretty mid because Caleb did a pretty poor job of showing them off. We didn't know about these skills. So there was a bad I would say a bad feeling about these characters. They thought they were just crap. That was in your Blood War banner to celebrate the enemy coming back, and they looked mid. But thankfully, that was not the case. So he has an Arankar and no affiliation killer. So that means any of the enemies that are this attribute, they will be, or I should say this affiliation, they will be doing more damage. That's what the killer stands for. And he is where do they have it? Soul Reaper right here. So that means if there's an enemy out there that has Soul Reaper Killer, that means they're going to be doing more damage to your character. He has strong attack recharge minus 14%. This is really good. He also has read all affiliation dodges. That means you're not having to worry about enemies dodging you. He has long stride. That's really good. But he has something that I really, really, really like in these characters that have, I'll show you in a bit. But team/party recover 20% stamina. That means anytime you transition a screen, he's going to be covering himself and the party as a whole /team 20% of their stamina. So as you can see, he has over 1,000 health. That means he's going to be healing over 200 health every time he transitions a screen, and usually transition 4 screens per level. Now if we go down to attainable skills, he has the shared complete status immunity. So the recovery plus the shared complete status immunity, in my opinion, is one of the better skill combos because of the fact that you don't have to worry about status elements, so you only have to worry about getting hit. And if you do get hit, well, team party recovery right here, 20%, that's going to be really beneficial. He also has Frenzy +2, but with this damage to enemies not afflicted by ailment, they're saying it's basically Frenzy +3. Yeah. Really, really powerful. He does have Marauder. That means any enemies that are, melee protected, piercing through that, no problem. And he also has a hidden enemies. So, like I said, enemies hiding in the shadows or underground, they're going to get hit by this guy. And like I said, with the Pierce Iron Skin, if you run to an enemy with Iron Skin, where normally you have to beat him by inflicting with status ailments, you don't have to worry. Just send this guy out and he's going to clear it, no problem. So those are the characters, in my opinion, for a new player that you got to keep an eye out for, and in my opinion, try and go for them. They're going to be really, really beneficial for you to have in your party. It makes it easier. It makes it easier to farm. It makes it easier to do content, and you won't have to worry about dodging the puddles as much on the ground and avoiding the enemies, which can be a bit of a pain. If you see some of the other people playing the game on the higher tier content and you're still leveling up your characters, like if you watch, like for example, Spite or Bleach Cowboy or Aaron Arrow or D Prophet during their live streams, or many of the other Bleach Brave Soul YouTubers out there, you'll see some of the levels they're doing have a lot of these puddles, especially in co-op. So you won't have to worry about them if you have those shared complete status immune characters. Now, there are other characters that you should keep an eye out. These aren't characters you should go for over the other ones that I mentioned. Like, in my opinion, the first step is to get some of these really powerful characters, as they will help you clear content. But once you start getting some of these, or if you end up pulling any of these types of characters in the future that I'm about to show you, then, you know, trying to go after the other ones, then that's going to be really, really beneficial to you for farming. We are going to go to the skill section. We're going to click on here to match any, and we're going to click these three. We're going to confirm. All these characters that I'm showing you on the screen have droplet boost, potion, +5 potions, +5 super potions, which is something you're going to need. Now, these are characters that you're going to want to keep an eye out for. 5 of them in particular that I would honestly watch more than the others at the moment. Actually 6. I got to go back to that one news post and show you. This Momo, she has the red attribute. You can tell by here. This is her portrait. She has +5 super potions and +5 potions for tech. That's going to be really good. I'll show you what they are in a second. But yes, this is a character that is a very good farming character for getting more resources. This Neliel, excuse me, this Neliel has it as well for heart. Hopefully that water will help. Now you have this Cacao Society Grimjow. This is what he looks like. He also has it right here. +5 potions and super potions. That's going to be really beneficial. And the last 2 characters that have it at the moment of this video, although like I said, I got to show you in a bit. +5, +5 for potions and super potions. This is what her portrait looks like, and she's a heart character. And the last one I'm going to be showing you on this screen is this one. She is another +5 potions and super potions character. Those are the characters that are going to be really beneficial for farming. And I'm going to show you what they are and why they're so beneficial. Oh, it's reset time. That's what you're seeing right there. Skip and skip. Gotta wait for this to load. Anywho, I'm going to show you one more character first before we go in. It's back in the banner. You know how I said the Ichigo is really good? The Yuryu is really good as well. We're going to scroll down till we get to him. You have Yuryu. He also has the Pierce Iron Skin and Guard Break. But what makes this guy stand out is he has a droplet character, super potion, and regular potion character all built into one. This is the first character to do this. So +5 potions, +5 super potions, and +30% speed droplets. So you get speed on everything here. That is really, really good. Now we're going to show you what the droplet, the potion, and the super potions look like so you can get a general idea. This is the droplets. This is what they look like. It's kind of like a little teardrop almost of the different colors. And then you have the potions, which look like a little glass vial right there. And then you have the super variant, which is a little bit more detailed. I like the looks of this one better, but as you can see, that's what they look like. Now, what are they used for? In order to show you that, I'm going to have to go to the character screen. If you look at these characters, give it a sec, they have 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 15, 15, 15. That's what you're going to be using your droplets, potions, and super potions on. A lot of them. Let's just take this character right here. As you can see, he has green text. He does not have any levels there. Now, if we go to upgrade slot right here, go over here, see I'm needing to use potions, and there's 3 slots. If I go to 10, level 10, if you notice it says bonus 20%. So, if you have a character of the same attribute, so in this case speed, or the blue color, and you equip it to this character, which you can equip 3 characters to, they'll be getting 20% of the stats minus focus. Focus doesn't get transferred over. It's only the stamina, defense, attack, spiritual pressure, and I think that's it. Stamina, maybe? I think I already said that. So it's a decent amount. 20%. That's a lot. And you need 750 potions times 3. So that's 2,250 potions that you got to use on here. Now, what if you wanted to increase it to level 15? This is where the super potions and the droplets come in. Now, if you want a 15, 15, 15, you're going to be needing 750 total super potions, 250 per. You're going to be needing 1,500 potions, so that's going to be 4,500 for all 3 to get to 15, 15, 15 from the beginning. And you're going to need 1,000 droplets per, so it's 3,000 droplets. And now it's 25% more stats from your character that are equipped to this of the same attribute. And if we go to the final tier, it's 1,000 super potions per one, so that's 3,000 total. 2,750 per slot. That's like what, 8,000, I think. A little over 8,000. Yeah, a little over 8,000. I think it's 8,250 right there. And then you're gonna need 2,500 droplets per. So that's 7,500. As you can see, that is a lot of resource that you're going to need. If you looked at what I had on there, I would not be able to do a lot of characters to 20. So if we take a look at, let's say, this Yamamoto, confirm. As you can see, I have 4 of the same attribute on this character right here. And if you look, it has there. This is the plus. So you have 1 plus, which is going to be accessories, and 1 plus that's going to be, actually this is the accessories, I think, and 1 that's going to be. Let's go to the character augment. We can find out what's being plussed. So if you look here under the accessories, this is how much he's getting boosted by the accessories. If you go to the here from the 20, he's getting 830 SP, 321 extra defense, 580 attack, and 995 plus more stamina by just having these characters equipped. That's really, really, really good. Oh, and I forgot to show one more thing of why you need to farm that. Not in the beginning. Don't even worry about it in the beginning. That's something that you're going to be worrying about later. If you go to here, you have these set bonus abilities. If you get to 15, 15, 15, and 20, 20, 20, you get to pick abilities. In this case, I picked damage to weakened enemies and weakened defense. Although I might change that at some point. At the moment, I don't really feel the need to. And you get a whole variety of different abilities that you can pick for those characters. Now, if we take a look back at the inventory, remember when I said I need 7,500 droplets, 8,250 potions, and what was it, 3,000 super potions, I think, to get them to 20. As you can see, I would not be able to do that many of them. Look, 7,500, maybe what, 3, 4, somewhere around there, depending on which attribute. And if you go to potions, even with the one that I have the most of, mine, I would not have enough. Just this on its by itself. Now I could use rainbow potions to make up the difference, but yeah, I would barely have enough with the rainbows included. Otherwise, I would not have enough to 20 mine character. Now, if we scroll down here, I don't have enough mine super potions, even with the rainbows, to 20 a character. I'd be close, you know. So you don't have to go to 20. In fact, a lot of people say, hey, if you're not using them a lot, if they're not like a really powerful character, but you still feel the need to 15 them, just go to like level up their slot levels. Just 15 them, get them the one ability, and then move on. You're not wasting as many resources in there, and if at some other point you change your mind, you can then invest the resources in there. Now, that's pretty much it for the characters. If you're a new player and you're starting around the time this video releases, there is some really good news for you. And if you made it to this far into the video, there have this one free per player. It's starting on the 30th of September and it goes to the December 31st. Holy crap. You're going to have, for the next 3 months, you're going to have a really good chance for new players. The reason why I say this, you have the opportunity to pull Yamamoto or the new Ichigo. These are the two characters that I would honestly focus on pulling because they are honestly the two better characters. Honestly, if you're here and you're summoning when this Ichigo banner is still out, I would go until I get Yamamoto, and then I would try and summon on this banner until I pull the Yuryu and the Ichigo. And obviously the Chad, because Chad, I'll try and get all three. The reason being is you're going to have your first Brave Battle character, which is going to be for PvP, which is going to help you out. You're going to be getting a really good farming character in this Yuryu, and you're going to have a really strong overall character with the shared complete status immunity, the team heal, and, you know, that's a really good combo. Obviously, the Pierce Iron Skin and the 100% damage to enemies not inflicted with a status element is going to be really good. Now, as much as I like this character right here, I would not, for the free, I would just wait for this banner to come back and honestly to go for him if you're going to summon for this guy. These are the two characters, because of their shared complete status immunity, that are worth going for. Because it'll make a lot of grinding for you as a player really beneficial. Now, if it's after this date, you don't have to worry about this. If it's after the 31st of December, 2022, then you don't have to worry about this because it's going to be gone. But just something I thought I would share. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you guys next time. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm and shows me you're interested in seeing more videos like this. Peace.